Hey, it's Melissa. I am the founder, the publisher, the writer at Wanging Dude Publishing. I got a little bit of puffiness going on because it's so funny. I said this on Instagram, Melissa Carter ATL, how appropriate, I guess, that I found out during a previous recording than taping this that my friend George Lowe had passed away. So if you're friends of Space Ghost, if you're an Atlanta radio person, he was a big voice at 99X. And so he was one of my mentors as well. And ugh, I hate to be old enough to have a message that someone I knew has passed. But yeah, so anyway, the reason I say this apropos because it just reinforce how important it is not only to live your life and to make a connection with an audience or whatever your community is. Mine has always been media. But it also has kind of brought to light about why it's important to do this book. Anyway, it's raw news as I'm saying this. So anyway, but I wanted to share with you reviews on the book. So when you do a book, you've seen on the covers, on the back covers inside reviews, and I in previous videos I've talked about the different resources that I use to learn how to self-publish this book. And one of the books I used, is how to get those reviews and get them ahead of time. And so I gave people the deadline of really Valentine's Day, about February 15th. The day after Valentine's Day is when I gave the deadline for reviews. There's still one out, I will say. I don't know if they're going to make the book or not, but they may make the website. So I created a website, wanganddude.com. And it's not necessarily for everybody. It was mainly again one of those suggestions about doing something if press needed information, if people who are buying the book need information, and it includes headshots, it includes reviews. You're more than welcome to go see it at wangingdude.com. But the full reviews are there. I'm not going to spend the whole video talking about the full reviews. I'm talking and I'm grabbing the reviews as I'm talking. So, but one of the things that you do also in the book is a review when it comes in, I've learned is it can be fairly long, depending on how someone is connected with the book. And so when you see the review in the book, it's an excerpt of the review. And so it's not necessarily the full review. So that's why I say full reviews are at wangingdude.com. And I'm going to share with you just some of the brief reviews because, it's really humbling. I don't know. Like, I know that I've been in broadcasting a long time and I know that I'm the product, I guess, that gets hired to be on the radio, but still it was kind of weird for me to, uh, see these reviews and I read them like it. I hesitated. There were times where I would get them. I was like, "Oh, thanks so much for sending this in," and then I'd be like, "Ooh, I don't know that. I don't know if I want to read this because some of the reviews did have some criticism in them, as they should." And I'll share what the criticism is. The criticism obviously is not going to make it in the reviews for the book, and that's not to be inauthentic. It's just, you know, it's just you put your best foot forward, I guess. But the full review with the criticism is on wanganddude.com. And so let me grab this really quickly. Okay. So one, two, I'm counting the reviews. Three, four, five, six, seven. So seven came in for the deadline, and one is still out. Well, really, two are still out. But that's okay because I can always add them to the website. And then of these reviews, I had to decide. I've already decided which ones will make the cover and which ones will be inside. And usually you want the most prominent ones to be on the cover. And I don't know if one feels more prominent to me than the other because some of these are from personal friends, right? And so their reviews mean a great deal to me. So what I decided to do was make sure that the one on the cover and the one on the back cover are local. So instead of it being about, oh, let me put some big national thing on the front or back, I decided to put local. Now, with that being said, I didn't have all these national outlets necessarily review the book, but I'll tell you the ones that did. So, Midwest Book Review, which is a big deal for an independent book writer to get a book review from Midwest Book Review. And this is not one I paid for. So the only one I paid for, and I mentioned this in another video, is from Kirkus Reviews. And that's their standard way of you purchase it because there's supply and demand. There's plenty of other avenues where you could purchase reviews, and it's the same as social media. You know, for those who don't understand that there are sometimes you can purchase subscribers, you can purchase views on a video, you can purchase review, these reviews for books. Like there are companies out there that will take your money and provide you these things. With Kirkus Reviews, it like I said, it's a matter of that they will give you an honest review. Again, it's just it's a place setting, a placeholder is where the money comes from. So the criticism I did receive from a few of these is consistent criticism. And I will tell you that at the end. So these are the, and again, sorry, I am trying to do a train of thought. I want to go ahead and do this and be authentic with you instead of being too polished. So forgive me for being a little all over the place because of the news I mentioned earlier. So Kirkus Reviews, the one I paid for, their edited review says a thoughtful chronicle of illness enlivened by celebrity antidotes. And they rank their books. You get a star for the top book, and then you get different levels. I forget all the levels, but I got the one where it's must read. So, I did land in a spot where they, it's a must read. So I'm very grateful that Kirkus, and that wasn't a part of the payment. Like I said, that's authentic. They were one that threw a criticism in there, which is fine. And I'll share that with you in a second. Because, like I said, it's similar. Midwest Book Review is another one. Again, I did not pay for them, and I did get a review from Diane Donovan, and this says, readers facing their own struggles with chronic kidney disease and transplant will find plenty of examples and insight in Carter's memoir about survival and proactive thinking. However, to view her story as a health foray alone would be to do facing inward and injustice. As much as Carter confronts many possibilities of death, she gives equal attention to life-affirming choices and options which build both career and growth. As she finds joy in life and her embrace of her oddities and strengths, Carter's memoir serves as a blueprint to readers for developing self-understanding and acceptance. Very generous, and pretty much the rest of the review is like that. What do I keep out of the review in the book? Again, it's for space, it's for time, it's for the for the assumption that people aren't going to read the full review and you just want to give like the headline or the best part of the review or the most interesting part of the review, because most reviews will also chronicle what the book's about. So for Midwest Book Review, for Kirkus Reviews, they publish this on their website. So the review shows up on their site and it's a more full-bodied review to give the reader of their reviews and understanding of what the book's about. So I'm not going to go through each one of these that describe in detail the chronicle of the book. So if that gives you an idea of what the full review is like, that's what it's like. It just gives you a detailed kind of synopsis of the book. Let's see. So another one from Andy Lippman. Now, he's someone I know here in the Atlanta area. He has cystic fibrosis, and he has written several books. The CF Warrior Project is his baby, and he's written several books about being alive far past the time frame in which he was expected to live with cystic fibrosis. We are around the same age. I'm in my 50s. He's in his 50s, and he's still alive, and he's thriving. And I asked him to write a review because I do mention someone who I meet in hospital as a child who had cystic fibrosis. And so Andy's review says, her heroic journey will have you cheering with the turning of each page, wondering how this unlikely champion will once triumph. A little emotional today, forgive me. If you are a fan of comeback stories, Facing Inward is the book for you. So, great. Thank you so much to Andy for that. He wrote more of a review about just how there in the book, I do talk about my health journey. That's what it's about. It's my memoir of my health journey from childhood until now. And there's just a lot. You look back on your life and you really, and it doesn't matter what you're going through. You look back and you think, gosh, the older you get, it's like, how did I get through that? How am I still here? And so for those who are still here, I think that's hopefully that's kind of what I want the book to be for you, is just kind of like, hey, it's about stamina. It's about just it's okay. You're doing it and you're getting it done, and that's enough, even if it's a little rough around the edges. Jeffrey Roberts is someone who I met. I reached out to him for a review because he is the founder of the IBS Patient Support Group. He founded World IBS Day, which is on April 19th, and I talk about my IBS in the book as well as my kidney transplant. And so he says, Melissa is a living model of how patients can overcome difficulties and move on through their life. I highly recommend reading about her life as a celebrity, but being real with us about her sexual choices and chronic health issues. The backstories and actual life events make this hard to put down. So thank you to Jeffrey for that as well. And then um, there's one that from a Virginia Heiger, who is another friend of mine, who is the CEO of Transformative Power, and she and I've worked together on several occasions when it comes to just kind of, I don't know, just self-discovery and self-confidence. And she wrote the book. This book is a gift in an ocean of advisory books on how to live your book life, or life book, how to live your life book. It gives you the freedom to explore, learn, and connect while allowing you to form your own opinion, and allows the reader to interact and feel safe in the reading process. Melissa's book is inspirational, transformational, and thought-provoking. So thank you, Virginia. Another one I received, and this is from Katie Burkholder from the Georgia Voice, now Rough Draft Atlanta, just purchased by a new company, but the Georgia Voice, which is a paper that I have written an article for gosh, since 2011. And so she was gracious enough to do a review of the book. And she says, Facing Inward, Melissa's story came right before that. Facing Inward is a compelling testament to the power of radical honesty. While Melissa's unique celebrity experiences will reel you in, it's the candor with which she shares universal experiences that will stay with you. And so her review, because it was the Georgia Voice, and because she's been an editor of mine, and because it's a paper that had me write for them for so long and been so generous with my career. And they're the first paper that ever published my article, a journalistic article, back many years ago. And so that's the back cover, is Katie's review. And the front cover goes to Rich Eldridge, who is a dear friend of mine, who is the founder of Eldridge ATL. He has his own news site now. And his reviews, for many years as an AJC reporter, I covered Melissa's remarkable life and career. Excuse me. Now with Facing Inward, she tells us the rest of her brave and beautiful story. There's Oreo. Just like the morning radio trailblazer who shares her life with us for years. He's trying to cheer me up by scratching my chair. Melissa Carter's memoir is warm, powerful, funny, and inspirational. So thank you, Rich, for that. Now, why am I tearing up? I think it's because, again, grateful that these people wrote reviews and took the time to read it. I hope that other people will take the time to read it. One of the things when you write your own book and you haven't written a book before and you're not some national, international celebrity, I mean, there's so many great stories and books out there by people who don't have any notoriety. And it's tough to get your stuff out there. And so for all these reviews to come in, and like I said, a couple more that didn't make it in, but hopefully might for the website, it's just, I think for those two reviews, it's wasn't a priority, which is okay because there's so much going on in all of our lives. And, I know that throughout my career and with this book, it's it's an underdog thing. This has been an experiment the whole time, and now we're here. And there's some last minute things that are going on that I'll share in other videos. But it's just trying to get the book in people's hands, because I know once they're in your hands, then there's going to be something in it that you'll get from it. I'm that confident in it. Yes, it's about my life story and I'm a little biased, but then there's a part of my life that I haven't enjoyed. That is part of this book, and I still think, looking back on all these things, that it is impactful. Some part of it's impactful. Now, what is the criticism of the book? Now, going back to what Katie said and what Rich said when they mentioned, hey, and even the Midwest Book Review, the celebrity stories are what will draw you in. That's the reason I included the celebrity stories, is because I knew that's a universal topic that needs no introduction. You will recognize some of these celebrities, and you will hear a story that you haven't heard about them before, and then you can form an opinion on them. But what true core of this book is the vulnerability of my illnesses, and what my life has been like with them, and that includes what life has been like with them, even working in radio. And so I think that that's what you end up really connecting with in the long run. But the celebrity is what brings you there. So the criticism, again, that you can find on wanganddude.com, is where the full reviews are, is the disjointedness sometimes from chapter to chapter. So the biggest criticism is there are times where it doesn't flow smoothly. And I know that was a concern of mine from the beginning as well. I need to include the celebrities for people to want to read it, but then I'm including my career in media, and I'm including my personal life. And so how do you weave these things in a natural, smooth way? And so there are times that I accomplish that, and then there are a few spots in the book I don't accomplish that. And so that's what the biggest criticism has been, is, sometimes you have to kind of change your mindset. Okay, I was here and now I'm going here, where I think my intention was, if I'm telling a really dark tale of my health, and then all of a sudden I decide I'm going to talk about Jack Black or Pink or, some of the other celebrities in the book, it may seem like wait, that's not where I thought we were going. Where in my mind, I'm probably thinking, oh, well, I'm going to try to get you out of that hole and bring you back into something happy. So that's Facing Inward. And so it is set to be released in May. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. And you can look back on videos about different things in the process of this, because it's been a 2-year process and we're almost there. Where am I now? I'm trying to get this distribution figured out, and I'm trying to get a pre-sale going. It's not as smooth. It's about as smooth as what some of the critics say about my book. It's not going as smoothly as I would like, but we're making it happen. I'm doing it. That's the thing, is like instead of just saying, forget it, I can't get this figured out, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm pushing forward, and we'll figure it out as it comes along, and the book will get in your hands somehow. So thank you so much for your support, and you can support the channel in any way by buying the book, but there are suggestions down below on how you can support the book as well. So thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you next time. All right, bye bye.